Hello everybody, it's like 1 o'clock. I guess I should say good afternoon. Yes, I'm gonna be doing this video in maybe a few places. I'm gonna add up a video on here. Normally I don't do that. I'm too lazy, do all this kind of editing stuff. I'm gonna do it today. I have a little bit more time. And there's the video I'm gonna be uploading a little bit later is what's this lady? Gosh, I wrote it down here. I'm gonna be talking about this anyway in a video. If I can turn my pages here. Her name is, oh come on, wind and everything. Nama Lazimi, and she rips into Benjamin Netanyahu right in front of his face. You got to see that video anyhow. And then there's a lot of this stuff going on, fights between. I guess the world is attacking each other, and then you got not Tucker Carlson, but Ben Shapiro attacking Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson isn't really responding back so much. And, Ben Shapiro is bragging about the fact that he hates Mamdani more than Tucker, apparently. I don't know, really crazy stuff. I tell you what, I don't know any reason so much, not so much of a reason why they would hate this Mamdani, because when you hear these election campaigns, like even Joe Biden or Trump or all this, everybody's saying it's going to be the end of the world if this person gets elected and all that. Oh, and New York, oh, Mamdani, it's going to be, and everybody should move, and everything's going to come to an end. It's just absolutely incredible. It's amazing. Anyway, I'm going to be going right back here after this. I'm just making a little short intro or something right here. And did I say it's 11th of November 2025 and it's a Tuesday? It's 1 o'clock. I said at 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. But anyway, and I might even go, and you can't really sit down and have a cheap beer there because they charge double the amount of beer in this area for some odd reason. Here, what was a KFC? Yeah, KFC. I don't know. You probably can't see it from here. Yeah, and there's a Papa Doner. Normally, Papa Doner, you get like 2 beers for $5.50. I think it costs 1 beer $5.50 over there on that one. So I don't know why that is. And they have far, far, far less business than they do in a lot of these other places where the beer is less expensive. Makes me kind of wonder. Maybe they do a little bit better if they lower the price there. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not a big market genius anyway. Wait a minute. Marketing. I'm supposed to be pretty good in marketing. But anyhow, we'll be talking about this, and so at this time, like I said, I'm going to put this, maybe if I can splice it right in here, about this lady. And you have to read it. Unfortunately, she's talking in whatever they talk, Hebrew or something like that, in Israel. This lady was born in Israel, so she looks like she's got dark hair, and you never know, but anyway. But she is really ripping Netanyahu. And at the same time, there was in the same meeting, apparently a lot of this, what this has to do with is this Ben Gvir. He's the, national security guy for Israel and all that. And he was celebrating, was really happy. But I guess the Israeli Knesset voted to kill a whole bunch of Palestinian detainees. So I guess, and that Ben Gvir was celebrating and passing out candy in the Knesset and all. And there was some other speaker from, I don't know if it's the same party as this lady or not. And they're basically kind of saying it's, kind of disgusting. And this woman that I'm going to be putting up, she was also saying how Benjamin Netanyahu uses people's lives as tools and things. They're really disgusting. So mostly what I'm just trying to say about this sort of thing is that there are decent people in Israel. So you can't just say they're all a bunch of, racist, genocidal maniacs, like what you get that opinion from Benjamin Netanyahu. And, but you see like the American government, most of them, they want to assist Israel in massacring people. And a lot of time, a lot of whatever you hear from Donald Trump, a lot of time he's one of the ones that are actually pushing this. Very strange. Anyway, so I'll get to making more about this video in a moment. So see you then. Well, everybody, I'm back, and look at that. So I'm in a food court, and I guess I found out it isn't that expensive here, but unfortunately I have to buy 3 beers for the price of 2 instead of whatever. And I'm seeing there's a guy over there, if you guys can see it, he's got 2 beers that he got apparently at Burger King. And so this is up in the food court at the Galleria, and apparently, I don't know, maybe you get I would have rather had 2 beers. I don't want 3 beers. But look, they didn't fill it all up anyway. No, I didn't drink any of it yet. I don't know. Oliveria's good quality. I don't know. That's also a very good quality beer over there. So, let's start right in on the news here now. We are all totally amazed, aren't we, of what's going on with this. Donald Trump, I guess yesterday, he saw the, what's it called, this guy from, this lady's leaving, but she didn't like somebody doing this right in front of her. She didn't order any food anyway, look. Damn cheater, just warming up a seat here. But anyway, we're all watching and see what's going on with this new leader from Syria. He was what, 6 months ago, maybe less. He was a big terrorist, and now all of a sudden, you know, of course they had to sneak him through the back door in the White House. So he went in the back way to meet up with Donald Trump. But now everybody loves him. You know, everybody. And Vladimir Putin, as you notice, through all these years, he doesn't judge any leader by anything like that. It says, you know, as long as you're the leader of the country, you know, you have to deal with them. I think that was his excuse, which is fine. You know, whoever's the leader, you know, you have to deal with that person no matter what. And you see, like normally in the United States, it's like, well, we don't like their policies, so we're not going to talk to them. That's sort of a deal. So, but this guy, I guess they love him, you know. And I was going to say something, you know. You got to think about a little bit about history here, recent history, and so this guy was a dastardly terrorist. I don't know how many millions they had on his head wanted to kill him, and you know, I think Trump, what was his words was, oh, I really like him. He likes him a lot or something, and but Donald Trump in his first term, remember? I defeated ISIS. I did it single-handedly. I defeated ISIS. I am Donald Trump. You know how Donald Trump is with his bragging normally about everything. And but look a little bit before that. You saw Hillary Clinton, and she was the one that got the weapons to Syria beforehand. But I don't know how long was that going there with, I guess, you know, with the Syria conflict. And there was all sorts of things, even long before that. You guys might even remember Sybil Edmonds. I'll mention something about her, too. But there is no evidence. You look at, like Donald Trump saying he bombed or something, or he defeated ISIS, but there's practically no evidence that the United States ever bombed ISIS in Syria. I mean, I wasn't there. You weren't there. But we were just told that. And if you were looking at any of these reports from the people of Syria, when they're talking about it, they were always saying that ISIS was gone. There was no ISIS. So when they were bombing ISIS, they had already left. They'd left 2 weeks before that. And the main thing the United States was bombing was the factories and the infrastructure of Syria. So they were just destroying everything. And that even came out later on when you had somebody that was one of these assistant... what is it? I don't even remember her name, but whatever. But she's on video and saying basically they destroyed Syria and they're going to keep it that way. They bombed it into rubble and they're going to keep it that way. And they're planning on keeping the 1/3 of Syria that the United States has taken. They took it and they say it belongs to us. It is American territory. It belongs to the United States, and we'll make sure that the rest of Syria stays in rubble. You know, stays destroyed. But I don't know, it looks like maybe they're not quite doing it now. Donald Trump is pledging all this stuff to Syria, going to make it great or something. That who believes anything Donald Trump says anyway? He contradicts himself in 24-hour periods, so. So what else then? Hillary Clinton, at one point in time, she said that ISIS is a proxy military of the United States. So, and she also said, but this time on video, she said that Al-Qaeda is a proxy military of the United States. It's kind of strange. You get more honesty from Hillary Clinton than you do from Donald Trump, I suppose. Yeah. And you all heard al-Nusra, but al-Nusra is nothing but a rebranding of the name Al-Qaeda. It's just like, what was it? What was this new name for Qasi or something like that, which used to be Blackwater. That was an American terrorist organization, as you all know. As you all know, Blackwater is the United States, and it's supposed to be Christian. It was by this Eric Prince, who claims to be this great Christian, and yet there's this organization called Blackwater, killing innocent people and loving it, and making jokes and laughing and things. But I guess that's Christians. This war on Christianity is actually what's going on. Okay, Sybil Edmonds. She was a translator, I guess, for the FBI, and I think she was of Armenian descent, actually, but she knew many languages, and she's a whistleblower, because she, over even periods of years, she was watching. I don't even remember this name, but there was a lady that was in the Senate, and senators, what is there, 100 senators in the United States? So there's not that many. It's not like a lot of representatives where there's 450 of them or something. So, and House of Representatives, you're supposed to be running for election every 2 years, and senators sit there, I think, 6 years? Like Lindsey Graham, you can't get rid of the guy. Anyway, she's a whistleblower. And a little bit more about her. She actually, this was even before September 11th, 2001, so before 9/11, and she became well known in the limelight when she was exposing that there was a American senator who was actually a spy for Israel, and she did things detrimental to the United States but beneficial for Israel. But nowadays that's just par for the course. That's just how it is in America now. All these even a lot of the congressmen, the senators, even presidents. I mean, you can sit here and talk for hours and hours, and I don't even know all of this stuff. I just know about what came in front of my nose, like starting with President Johnson more than anything else. And I think a lot of people put out that he's actually a Jewish president. He was not a Christian, so he was Jewish, and he worked more on the behalf of Israel. He was the first Israeli firster. So, it's not like it started with Donald Trump. Donald Trump obviously is Israel first, or at least he's, Israel and the United States. Every other country he looks at negatively, but every other country, the UK, Germany, it doesn't matter what, even Syria, that he never harms anything that has anything to do with Israel. So what else? You guys are looking at all these. There's a lot of, incredible women here, like this lady here getting her coffee or whatever she's getting. No, she's getting tea from Formosa. Okay. Anyway, Sybil Edmonds also started a site after all of this called Boiling Frogs. But what led up to that is not only did she uncover that United States senators are spies for Israel, she came up with other things too. And she became the most gagged person in U.S. history. So if she ever opens up her mouth about certain subjects, and I believe part of it was even 9/11, that she will immediately go to prison. I don't know where she's at now. I think she was kind of in hiding, or certain when she was running her site or whatever. She was doing it from overseas at an undisclosed location. Anyway, so I was already mentioned about that. But now you look at Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz openly says that he supports Israel over the United States. If you bless Israel, you will be blessed. So, and basically he admits that he is an Israel firster. There's no doubt about that. A lot of them are. There was even somebody I've even mentioned it before on this videos, that there was a U.S., I don't know if it was a congressman or a senator, and that the title of their website was Israel's Best Friend, in great big letters, bigger than anything else. Not much mentioned about the United States. It was all pro-Israel. And you see how they fight over each other, who supports Israel the most. And I guess it was even that election with this Mamdani that so many people are getting a big tizzy fit over. They asked Cuomo and whoever this other joker was and Mamdani, and they were all fighting except for this Mamdani. They were all fighting on who supports Israel the most, who supports Ukraine the most. Who is more loyal to Ukraine and to Israel? And Mamdani says something like, "Well, I just want to do something good for New York." I guess that makes him a bad guy. Like I said at the opening segment here on this video, it's like Ben Shapiro. I mean, maybe he didn't get it. He didn't get it. But these guys are just infatuated on who can hate this Mamdani the most. And if you listen to this Mamdani, he doesn't have any antagonism in his voice against anybody. He says he wants to do good for everybody in New York, for all New Yorkers, no matter what their skin color is. And everybody is getting flipped out about it. I don't know. It's really amazing. I mean, it would be fascinating. You know what it does? It causes people to look more into Mamdani and what makes this guy so bad, if he's so bad. And maybe a lot of people did that, and maybe that's why he got so much support. He didn't have any billionaires behind him, but it's true grassroots support. It even tells you something about Candace Owens. The more a lot of these people attack Candace Owens, the bigger she becomes. Now she's number one, So you have everybody going after her. And I, in a sense, fell in love with Candace Owens when I saw her a long time ago. And you guys might have even seen this. It's probably all over on YouTube still. She was still young and not even so well known, and they called her in front of the, what was it, the House of Representatives. It's an investigative committee, and they were trying to make her out to say that she supports Adolf Hitler and all this kind of stuff. And she just wiped the floor with them. It's very much like George Galloway has done to the United States Congress as well. When they tried to say that he was a business partner of Saddam Hussein. Where the heck do we get these crazy people in our government? I mean, how do they think? I mean, I don't know. It tells you, it gives you a lesson. You've got to support yourself. When you have a bunch of people attacking you. I did that in this country where I was at in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it wasn't anything political, really. Even though I was in some political problems a little bit before, and based on when you have a name, when I'm the one that established the coffee industry on that country, I was, nobody would give me the time of day. And then all of a sudden I was kind of a celebrity and getting invited to the big rich business people's things, and I never even went. Never went to one of them. But it wasn't really in my thing. And it's incredible how, nobody gives you the time of day unless, I guess it's like, you have to earn respect, I guess, is the moral of that. And I don't know. It's like here, coming to Belarus. I'm absolutely nobody here now again. So I have to become a fabulous YouTube blogger. Then I'm, I'm gonna have to make Duke great again. Matter of fact, I was gonna say that word again. That word again it's not. But I'm thinking, well, yeah, it was coffee. I was doing coffee before, so I guess it is again. Okay. So let's see. I told you about Boiling Frogs. That was her site. I don't know if it exists anymore. But another thing that Sybil Edmonds was doing is, this is in the lead up to this attack on Syria and all of this stuff that goes on in the Middle East. She was putting out things like in newspapers in Turkey, and she was mentioning that there was a lot of this information And remember, she did an investigation. She was in the FBI. So that the United States had training camps in Jordan and in Turkey, and they were training jihadis. And that was, she was using, part of her evidence was based on newspaper reports from Turkey, as well as other reports. So what was the United States training all these, what turned out to be terrorists? Why were they doing that? And then, of course, soon after that, this war broke out in Syria. So the United States, and well, let me just sum it all up. What it was all about, the United States was training ISIS. And that makes it very obvious that ISIS is a proxy military of the United States. They trained them, and it's like, well, who's funding ISIS? Who's giving food to all of these terrorists? Who's giving them their weapons and paying for their Chevy pickup trucks? Chevy pickup trucks and things like that. I mean, it's like, wow, who's doing that? And there's just such a mountain of evidence, and I've told it to you guys many times on the show, like when they had this, you know, what is one of the first areas that these ISIS, which I guess originally is the abbreviation for Israeli Secret Intelligence Services. So what was one of the first places, regions where this ISIS attacked? Well, gee, it happened to have been in an area that was heavily dominated by Christians. And a lot of people, they don't want to mention the fact that Assad, who was the leader of Syria, was a Christian. He was not a Muslim. His wife was Muslim, but he was a Christian. And I've already mentioned that many times about this book, Every Spy a Prince, that Israel said that they were one of their greatest successes was to get Muslims and Christians to kill each other, because by doctrine, by religious doctrine, they are actually very good friends, if you know that. So these guys will leave it too. And it's because they both believe in Jesus, and generally speaking, a lot of the Jewish people, they don't. Matter of fact, they hate Jesus. And but you know, there's a lot of this stuff in. That's why I stay away from religion altogether, because I don't want to say, you know, oh, I'm going to follow the scripture and I'm supposed to hate this person and hate these people and all this. And I don't really buy into this. I just want to stay away from it. And I respect any religion that is doing good things for everybody and don't have any enemies, but I don't know. Somehow in their doctrine, and when they're the older religions, they got to have some enemy. You know, that's one sad thing about a lot of things in Judaism too, sadly. And I really want to know what Max Blumenthal's theories are, because he doesn't act like that at all. He doesn't have any animosity towards people. So you know, and he's actually really ticked off about Israel and how Israel, there was, let me just give an example that I saw. There was some sort of a briefing I think it was in the White House, and Max Blumenthal was there, and they had to, I think, escort him out of there. If you've seen videos of Max Blumenthal, he's always calm and collect and everything, but he was really going off. And I don't know, I think it was somebody who was maybe from Israel at that time, and he was ticked off about how these people do all these nasty things and make the Jewish religion look really bad. So I don't know what his philosophy is, and I think it's really worth, if somebody knows of a video with Max Blumenthal talking of his theology, I guess I'd really like to watch it, because Ben Shapiro, I mean, what did I say, Ben Shapiro? I meant Max Blumenthal. Oh my God. A little bit of a Biden-y moment. I can say that because I'm an older guy. I can have these crazy flips, like calling Mom Donnie the governor of New York instead of the mayor of New York. Anyway, so I was going to get into Ben Shapiro a little bit more in a minute here, but anyway, that's a religious theory and stuff like that. So, but Donald Trump saying how he defeated ISIS and ISIS this and Al Qaeda that and all that. It's I don't know. And all of this BS that they're feeding us, they're not going after it. Even Israel, I tell you what. It's also a fact. I'm just kind of summing up a few little things here. There's a heck of a lot more information out there that you guys probably already know. Whenever the commanders of ISIS, they got hurt pretty badly, they went to Israel to get their medical help. So wait a minute, if they're supposed to hate Israel and the United States, how is it that Israel is giving them medical treatment to the top leaders of ISIS? You know, and why is it that ISIS and Al Qaeda have never attacked the United States? Never, never, ever. They never attacked the United States. They've never attacked Israel. Wow. Maybe that shows that they hate the United States and Israel because they've never attacked them. I mean, we're supposed to be really incredibly stupid. You know, what is that expressing? Donald Trump is just one of them, but it's all these politicians. Not all of them, not all, but most of them. Not Marjorie Taylor Greene, obviously, but a lot of these people. They piss in your face, and they tell you that it's raining. They stand right in front of you, pissing in your face, and they'll tell you, oh, it's the rain. I mean, incredible. And then they go after this Mamdani, like Ben Shapiro, really going after Mamdani. And he's like trying to brag and go around to everybody and say, I hate Mamdani the most. Love me, love me. I don't know. These people are making me sick. You know, and there was a thing with Candace Owens. There was a little video that Candace Owens had, and you might be able to find it on YouTube. And it was about Tucker Carlson, and it's about, she's talking about how Ben Shapiro has this enormous, enormous hatred of Tucker Carlson. And I'll tell you what I think. What I think that, you know, Ben Shapiro had a hatred of Charlie Kirk before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. But I think it's Ben Shapiro, and obviously he's very, very pro-Israel. I don't know, is this guy a Mossad agent? What in the heck is Ben Shapiro? And I practically don't even like to hear this guy talk. He's a friggin' massive con artist. He's nothing but a flim-flam con artist, man. And I can't even listen to this guy talk. He sounds just nauseating and disgusting. And I can't even say enough bad about him. But I think he wants to take the limelight. And he even put out a video. You got to find a lot of this stuff. Somebody should put a conglomerate, like a collage of all of this stuff from Ben Shapiro. He's basically saying, okay, now that Charlie Kirk is gone, you should all flock to me. And it's like, what the heck? Candace Owens never even said that. And even if you might have got a little bit of a thing, you know, you'd have to be grasping a little bit to think Candace Owens was trying to steal a limelight and tell everybody, oh, come to me now, because I liked Charlie Kirk and I got along with Charlie Kirk and we were very good friends, so now you should follow me. I don't think that Candace Owens was ever saying anything like that. I guess it was her deal trying to find out who actually killed Charlie Kirk. And and now you've got, I can't remember the name of, because I never watched it. I never watched any of this crap from Ben Shapiro, but this guy, I mean, he shows his cards, and he's really disgusting. And he's actually just going down and down and down and down. Candace Owens goes up, 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 up. It's because Candace Owens is a real person, and she believes in honesty and truth. And Ben Shapiro is just a freaking con artist. Like I said, Charlie Kirk, I wasn't a big follower. I'll tell you what, I saw some of these things earlier on with Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. I watched because of Candace Owens. I didn't watch because of Charlie Kirk. Okay. So let me keep going. Where am I at here? I'm shooting from the hip here, but I should actually rewrite my notes. I should make them more like an outline form. As I start throwing this stuff out, and then I don't even know where I'm at because I'm not really following my notes. I don't Oh, another thing. Yeah, Ben Shapiro. That's a very important thing. Um, so, I don't know. I can't. I tell you what. You can do a full video on Ben Shapiro, and maybe I should do that. But you know, I'd be getting so angry and disgusted. I'd probably be spitting at I'd be spitting at my camera cell phone right now if I was doing that. But what was one of the latest things he was saying, and I don't even know where he was saying it, but it was like he's saying that Candace Owens is saying that Erica Kirk is involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and Candace Owens has never said that. Even if sometimes, but I'll tell you what, I don't even see that she's ever had any indication, but a lot of other people have been shown indications, you know, and they say that like Erica Kirk, it looks like her tears are fake, or they're not even tears at all. She's just, you know, dabbing her eyes or something a lot and all that. And Candace Owens has not really said so much in favor of Erica Kirk, but she's not really spoken ever against her either. She's never said that she's faking it. And some people have always said, well, everybody grieves differently. And see, maybe Candace Owens, what she said is, I would be doing this. I wouldn't be doing what Erica Kirk is doing. I would be doing such. But she never said, oh, Erica Kirk is involved in it. Never really alluded to it. You know, maybe she's very tricky, even more tricky than Netanyahu and Ben Shapiro, by making you think that that's what's going on. What are you going to do? Are you going to jump to conclusions like that? You know, the bad thing is, you know, I got sitting here, I got these beers. Now I got 2 beers. I just put the old cup inside of this. Actually, these aren't bad cups. A lot of these cups are so terrible, you know, you're afraid you're going to have spilled beer all over it just by grabbing them. But these ones are not bad here at all. I guess it's Oliveria. Oliveria. It's a very good beer company in Belarus. And again, I'll have to, let me, I don't have any sponsors. Maybe I should go for Oliveria as a sponsor, but there's some fabulous beer here. Litskaya, Oliveria. Oh, maybe I can start these guys in some sort of a thing, and they all put a little bit of money in and pay it to me, and I'll promote the beers of Belarus here on my videos. So, okay guys, what else? The Erica Kirk. I hope it's not too loud. I hope you guys are hearing me, because I'm hearing a whole bunch of noise, but I'm noticing when I did other videos, and I was thinking that it would all be distracting, you know, with all the noise and everything, but the microphones are obviously in the front, so you guys can probably hear me, but you can't hear a lot of this other stuff going on. I'll show you a little bit around differently instead of fixing the same place here. There's people there. This is actually where the food court is on the, I think it's a 6th floor. Salataria, and there's KFC. So, anyway. Tea place. There's a tea place here. Tea place over there in the distance, if you can see it. Tea. I don't know. Up here, there's not that many coffee shops. I remember in the old days, when I came here in 2000, or was it 2001, right around that time, there was hardly any coffee shops around, you know? It was very strange. And now there's coffee shops all over the place. And if I would have been a little bit, well, no, I wasn't involved in coffee in those days. If I was, and if I was smart, knew what I was doing, I would have opened up a coffee shop. All this stuff. Anyway, let me keep going. So what else? But Candace Owens, she has said, and many others have said, however, that they mentioned that there's strange things concerning Israel about Charlie Kirk's death. And obviously, I mean, undeniably, you know, I would even draw that conclusion. I would say, you know, I mean, it's, at the very least, you can say it's very suspicious. Oh, they're leaving me. Anyway, it's very suspicious. A lot of the behavior, what was going on from Benjamin Netanyahu and whoever at the time Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And then Turning Point USA. You would think they'd be a lot more interested in who actually killed Charlie Kirk, and it's pretty obvious that this Tyler Robinson did not do it. Nobody saw any gun up there. He's running. He didn't have a gun, you know? And it's like, well, there's a gun. He jumped off the roof, and then there's a gun found in the woods, and then it was like I guess it was a 30-06, and that wound, it would have blown up Charlie Kirk's entire neck. I mean, this stuff is all a bunch of, it's just like this Chernoff brothers that were supposed to have done the Boston Marathon bombing, and the evidence clearly shows that they were patsies. You've got to be disgusted with the United States. I tell you what, am I even allowed to say this? Am I going to be deleted from YouTube? It's all this disgusting thing, and all these assassinations and killings and things like that, and they set up patsies. I remember they had these fake Haitian guys that they were saying were trying to blow up the Sears Tower, if a lot of you remember that. And these guys, they practically didn't even know what country they were in, you know? And people were making fun of them. There's no way that they would have even envisioned anything like that, and they had no reason to do so. But oh, yet the FBI nabbed them and called them that they were trying to blow up the Sears Tower. What about the underwear bomber and the shoe bomber and all these other kind of crap right after 9/11? I mean, gosh damn, what the? I mean, you guys should be just as disgusted as I am from all of this crap. I don't know. I don't know. In a way, I'm glad I'm living over here, but maybe I shouldn't be looking at this news. It's depressing to know that the United States is pulling all of this crap on people, pissing in your face and telling you it's raining. I wonder if they like men with beards. Those ladies, Just kidding. Okay. Maybe it's the beer talking. Anyway, so it could be that Ben Shapiro is actually taking like a revenge on Candace Owens, because I can't remember this name. Daily Wire, and I never watched it. And anyway, maybe I did see it because I watch Candace Owens sometimes, you know, because she fascinates me, and because you know, you get drawn to these people that actually tell you the truth when you have all these people in the media just lying and lying and lying, and they've been trying to push their political agendas and things like that. And Candace Owens' side, fantastic. But anyhow, so I think that when he fired her from the Daily Wire started going. And Candace Owens, she opened up her own thing, and she's probably doing her own thing from the UK. She's married to a British guy, and who very much supports her. Sounds like she's doing pretty well. And anyway, Candace Owens is going, and now she's number one. And that's just fantastic. I don't know if she's. It cannot be that it's possible that somebody can sustain being number one for a long time. And I don't think she's any kind of an aggressive person. If somebody ever takes over a number one spot podcaster over Candace Owens, such as me, of course, that she's not going to take it bitterly and start doing like Ben Shapiro does. Ben Shapiro, he was probably never number one. He's just trying to be, you know. What a friggin' disgusting guy he is. Look at this guy. They're gonna do sagging over here too. Some guy, I don't know if you guys saw that. Some guy with his friggin', a white guy, his butt cheeks. This lady probably even thinks over here, I keep forgetting that why did I do that? I could have showed you guys his butt cheeks when he got up there. He left already. He's sagging his pants. And you know what, I used to work in a prison, and what they told us then, that when you see these people sagging, you know, they have their pants hanging halfway down their ass, that means that you're a member of a gang or something, whether it be the Crips or the Bloods or the BGDs, you know, the Black Disciple Gangsters. I don't know if the Hispanics, Mexican Mafia, we called them back then, and when I was working in a prison, I don't know if they sang, but it's just like the Crips, the Bloods, the BGDs, you know, Black Disciple Gangsters. I think if you guys don't know what that group is, they're a lot smaller. I think it was the Crips that were the bigger ones. One of them had the color of red, and one has the color of blue. So this guy was wearing red. I think that was the Crips color. Red underwear. Woo, I love that. And he had some kind of a thing where his butt cheeks, you could see the line of his butt right down the thing, you know. He had it sewn that way, apparently. Maybe he thinks it's sexy. They don't have Crips and arrest them, for God's sakes. He was a white guy. I don't know. Gosh, I wish I would have known. I mean, here I'm having a beer, so I could have just pointed it over here and showed you this guy sagging in his underwear and stuff. Probably proud of him. I mean, if he wants to show everybody his underwear, I don't know. Wow. There's old Fred over there. Fred is having his soup, I guess. And anyway, what else? Let me think. Okay, let's switch gears here. I have to say that one of the main things that maybe Ben Shapiro got pissed off at Candace Owens about is because she said that the United States government is occupied by Israel. And I think it was her that coined that, and a lot of people have been saying that now. I think it's like Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore loves Candace Owens just like I do. You know, maybe we ought to get together. But it's undeniable, you know, that, and it's been that way for a long time. Like I said, it started with LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, that you know, Israel started the control of the United States, and it's really sickening. And I said that many years ago. I said back in about, when was that? Definitely back in, and I was, people here in when I was in Germany, and I said that, I said, yeah, Israel exercises tremendous control over the United States, especially over the foreign policy. They exercise like total control basically in the Middle East. The only thing is, and a lot of presidents, except for Donald Trump, that has been able to resist is bombing Iran. And Benjamin Netanyahu, he sleeps, he has wet dreams about bombing Iran. You know, he's like, about, you know, he's dreaming about bombing Iran. But with Donald Trump, boy, I tell you what, he's realized those dreams big time. You know, I mean, his sheets are probably a mess. You don't want to, I don't even want to think about the state of Benjamin Netanyahu's bed sheets, you know, while Donald Trump is the president. So, anyway, Candace Owens knows a lot about that. A lot about the bed sheets. She knows about the influence that Israel wields over the United States. And as a matter of fact, Candace Owens, I think she is the one that said that LBJ was clandestinely actually a Jewish, and but Candace Owens really doesn't hold anything against Jews, but it's Zionist Jews, I guess. And LBJ is definitely a Zionist, whether he's a Zionist Christian or a Jew or who knows what, you know. I don't know. Okay. But ever since that time, no president has ever dared to oppose Israel. None. Zero presidents, not even Obama. Obama is the only one. That's one thing I can say in Obama's credits, that he was at least a little bit of, has resistance, a little bit of resistance against Israel. And, you know, kudos to Obama, at least on that one point. You know, he gets a 0 on every other point, but maybe that one. Okay. This is just a little note. It has nothing to do with, and no segue here. But it just was an interesting thing because I saw, and I have these notes here, that Nicolas Sarkozy has been released from prison. How long was he there? He was like there 1 week, and it's like we were all sitting there looking. A president, a former president, going to prison? Really? You know, I mean, that's normally only in Africa or places that the United States controls. I mean, other countries like maybe some places like Nicaragua or something like that. But not in France. And, you know, lo and behold, it was only 1 week. He spent 1 week, and I don't know. It's probably not even on house arrest. I don't know. This was just announced, I guess, yesterday. So we'll find out a little bit more about that. You know. Oh, it was so bad. I think another thing, I didn't write it down. It wasn't that important enough. But this Ghislaine Maxwell, the one that was an associate with Epstein, apparently she's allowed to have a puppy in her cell. You know, no other prisoner is allowed to have a puppy. I wonder if it was a Chihuahua puppy, but anyway, strange, you know. She gets a puppy. And I'll tell you what, another thing, like I told you just a minute ago even, I worked in a prison for like 3 years in Washington State, and it was the maximum security prison of Washington State. It was called Clallam Bay. It's sort of like maybe in Northern California they have a prison called Pelican Bay. Pelican Bay is for their worst offenders, and our worst offenders in Washington State went to Clallam Bay. Maybe it's something to do with this bay. Maybe the Bay of Pigs has something to do with it. I don't know. But anyway, so we had a guy in there, and he was actually a lawyer, and this guy, he got to have a computer, and he had a desk chair, and all. This guy, I mean, his father, I guess, was a big lawyer too. This guy, like, I don't know how old was he back then? And that was, anyway, the year doesn't matter. Maybe he was like 40-something years old, and it was like, wow, this guy has all these privileges. No other inmate gets these privileges except for this guy. And then it was a strange thing, a strange event. I went to Germany. I was there for like 1 year, and then I came back to the United States for a while. I was thinking, well, maybe I may move back to the United States. It wasn't really working out, so I started working as they called it an intermittent at a different prison called, it was at Monroe, Washington. They called it Gladiator School. We had one prison called Concrete Mama, which was called Walla Walla prison in Washington State. But the Monroe Penitentiary was called Gladiator School. You know, maybe because there's a lot of fights. They have areas where the cameras don't cover or something, so people could get beat up and stuff like that. But it was very strange, and I was an intermittent, so I wasn't permanent staff yet, so I could be moved around to different places, and it's not even a guarantee that I even get any work. So I had to take whatever hours they were giving me, and normally I worked in this one unit with this one guy, who's, by the way, his last name was Candy. And I always thought he was part Indian, and he was saying that he was saying he was related to John Candy or whatever. But nobody wanted to work with him because he farted all the time. So you're sitting next to this guy and he's farting all the time, and he would just say, just air, man. And maybe these girls were, oh no, those girls, maybe they were listening, they were laughing. But anyway, so nobody wanted to work with this guy because he farted all the time. You know, I just kind of stayed a little bit distance, and then I would go for walks and looking at, you know, while it was during the night shift. It was like 10 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. And anyway, but this was I don't even know what the point I was trying to make. I'm doing a Joe Biden. Maybe the beer has a little bit of effect on me and my Biden-y brain or something. Joe Bidenitis is what I have. It's called a sick Joe Bidenitis. But anyway, looking at a prison, what was I saying? Clallam Bay, Pelican Bay, anything? I don't know. Never mind. No, I don't know what I was saying. But these, about Sarkozy working being in a prison. Ghislaine Maxwell. Was that? Privileges. This one guy, he was a lawyer, his father was a lawyer, and he got this thing. And the strange thing is, I went to Germany for 1 year, and then I moved back to the States thinking maybe I'll get reestablished in the States, you know, because it's a rough time in my life. It really was. I was homeless, actually. To be honest with you, I was homeless. Even when I was working at that prison, I was homeless. I lived in the back of my pickup truck, you know. And again, I'm forgetting. I'm getting up on these tangents, trying to give you guys the real background information. And this guy, this one guy, and he was privileged. And it was a strange thing because all of a sudden I saw him in that prison. It was a huge distance. It was, I don't know, more than 100 miles, and it was at a different prison. So all of a sudden, this privileged guy, he was in that prison. And it even actually scared me because this guy remembered me as a correctional officer in the other prison, in the maximum security place. You know, incredible. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh crap, luckily I was intermittent, you know. And then I even saw people in there that I knew when I was growing up in Washington State, in Seattle, and they were inmates in that prison. One guy stabbed his girlfriend 16 times or something, and he lived up my street. He lived, I don't know, 80 meters away from me, and he was in that prison, and I just, which is a weird feeling. Anyway, let me keep going. I don't want to keep you guys on stuff that has nothing to do with news. So, as you know, Israel is continually bombing Lebanon, bombing and bombing and bombing, and now they've taken more Lebanese territory. They spread their, they call it a fence, not a wall, even if it's concrete, and there's these pieces. So actually, so they can move it, and they've taken over another kilometer and of Lebanon. So they're going to keep, probably in increments, be moving up towards the Litani River, because that is one of their goals, is to go all the way to the Litani River. And a lot of people say that that's part of their flag. You know, the flag has two. They have a blue stripe on the top and a blue stripe on the bottom, with the Star of David in the middle, all in blue. And I guess supposedly those two stripes are supposed to represent rivers, and the Litani River is supposed to represent the top stripe on that flag. Maybe it's true, maybe the bottom is, I don't know, the Nile. I have no idea. But that's just what people say. But as you all know, they're trying to establish Eretz Israel, Greater Israel. And I think they'll take up as much territory as they possibly can, and then try to get settlers to keep coming in, violent settlers to burn the olive orchards from Palestinians, the stuff we've been seeing for decades and decades. And we're all supposed to say, oh, I don't see that, I don't see that, oh, I didn't know that, you know, and the United States is covering for them. I really, really don't know, and I don't know if anybody does. I know that probably none of you do either, because I haven't heard any experts, so-called experts, on YouTube or anywhere talking about what the heck is this all about? Why is the United States covering for all of this? And then we have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene that you're supposed to really hate. Probably Mamdani. Mamdani is probably another one, because he happens to be, he's kind of a loose Muslim type of guy, but he doesn't really hate anybody. So that guy's a real threat. This is some real crazy stuff going on. And I think I was starting to allude to the fact that on this one video with Candace Owens, and it was, she had Ben Shapiro on there, and Ben Shapiro was even admitting himself on this little, it was one of these little short videos taken from Candace Owens, one of her podcasts. And Ben Shapiro, she put Ben Shapiro on there talking about his conversation with Tucker, and saying, yes, the world is for the most part going to hell in a handbasket, and we should try to, you know, work together and try to, and then Ben Shapiro is like, what do they call, butthurt? He's butthurt that maybe that Tucker Carlson didn't respond to him. Well, maybe that's because Ben Shapiro probably said some crap about Tucker Carlson, or maybe Tucker Carlson was busy. I have no idea. You know, nobody knows. But anyway, it's absolutely unbelievable stuff, you know. But the fact that even Ben Shapiro acknowledges that the world is going to hell in a handbasket, but I bet they both have completely opposite perspectives on it. Probably Tucker Carlson's is much opposite to Ben Shapiro's, and you know, Ben Shapiro, I don't even like talking about the guy, even though I just did talk about the guy a long time. Everybody has to watch out for this guy, friggin' con artist guy. So, okay. Also, the National Security Minister, this is also some big news. This is some big news. I'll tell you what. The National Security Minister, and this is part of this video that, I mean, it has a little bit to do with this video that I put up. I'm probably already put it up. in the what is it, the time scan that you guys are watching this, but is this Ben Gvir, not Ben Guyver, Ben Gvir, or whatever. He's handing out treats in the Israeli Knesset because the Israeli Knesset voted to execute Palestinians. And I don't know which Palestinians and which ones or whatever, but to kill these people. And there was a big discussion, and there was people from other things, saying, how these people, Netanyahu and Ben Gvir or whatever, as they have no respect at all for any human lives, no matter what. And I don't know, did these people even get a trial? The ones that they're going to execute, or is it all Palestinians? I don't know. Jeez. And the United States supports these people. It's absolutely unbelievable. But what we're supposed to be appalled by thinking that the United States could ever support any kind of a terrorist, like supposedly bin Laden or something. I don't even have any napkins. I spilled my beer. I guess I'm getting my bestest friend, like I said in the video yesterday. Luckily I got a black sweater on, so you can't see the drops or anything. But you gotta wash it because the moths will get you. Okay. So, no, actually this fence was extended 2 kilometers deeper into Lebanon. Wow. So that's probably what Israel is going to be doing. You can probably start, even though you normally have to have 2 events to notice that there's a trend happening. At least 2 events. And this is only 1 event, but I can almost tell you that looking at the mindset of the Israelis, they're going to keep on extending and pushing this fence, so-called fence, more and more into Lebanon. Really sad, really sad. Okay, and I'm talking about this new, actually she's a hero, and I mentioned, like I said, I hope I put this video up. I hope I was able to do this. Nama Lazimi, and I don't know that she said anything about the Palestinian lives. You don't really dare say that anyway, apparently in Israel, but she's outlining all of these crimes of Benjamin Netanyahu, who's a dastardly guy, and she accused him of being behind October 7th, as you see if you have to read what she says in the video, and funding Hamas. I've said all these things. I've said all these things on my channel. I've told you guys, and I didn't put up any so-called evidence, but these people that are in Israel, and they tell you about all this evidence, and there is evidence. And I've told you there are people that were in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, and they've testified before a court and judges that they were told to stand down, not to go in and protect. These are commanders, to go in and protect the Israeli people. Incredible. So, anyway. And anyway, she also said it's that Benjamin Netanyahu forgot what it means to be Jewish. So, which is probably true, and that's one reason why I say I like to hear from Max Blumenthal. His opinion is. I got a call. I gotta stop this for a second. Okay, I'm back again. Anyway, Trump took a big jab at Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying she lost her way. So, and she's catering to the other side. There's another thing she said, or he said, and it is, I guess, based on the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she wants Donald Trump to focus more on domestic policy, and I don't know. In other words, what it's actually more like saying is to be America first, and Donald Trump, I guess, has a different version of what is America first, is to dominate the entire universe, as you all know. He said, and I guess maybe it's in his words, is to what was it, to watch over the world. Oh yeah, watch over the world. And I don't know, Donald Trump, thinking that Marjorie Taylor Greene lost her way. It's actually, as so many people know, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, even me, the great me, they know that actually the one who lost their way was Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I mean, you got to wonder, well, where did it all start? Where did it all start that Donald Trump lost his way? Can you say maybe, I would say, a lot of it was with these vaccines. And Donald Trump was positioning himself to be for the people and for the people, to make their own decisions and things like that. And then he's basically telling, warp speed, the vaccines are great. That's what he even said. He said they're great. Oh, I got vaccinated. I bet he didn't get vaccinated. And even if he supposedly got vaccinated, it is a known fact. I've probably said this before, that leaders and certain people, they always get different vaccines. That's a known fact, and that's been a fact for many, many decades. You can read novels, you can watch movies, you can see so much, and certain people, they get different vaccines. I mean, the elites, supposedly. I remember back, and I've said this before, definitely, when I was in Germany. I was a soldier in Germany, I think, at that time, and it was Angela Merkel, and the people in the government got different vaccines than all the people. It was a flu shot, just a regular flu shot. They got different ones than the other, and people started asking, well, why? What is? Well, I mean, what is it? What is this all about? Why is it there different vaccines? I don't know anything about that. I mean, gosh. And I don't know. I've said a lot of things about the amazing 15. And YouTube really doesn't like this. Google doesn't like this, and we all know whose side Google is on. I've said that already. So far I'm lucky. Look at this guy's got 2 beers over there. He took them from Burger King. I didn't want to drink 3 beers. I would have rather had 2. I didn't know that. I guess in food courts maybe it's different. And I'll tell you what, in some places Burger King they don't even have beer, or maybe they only have 1. So, but anyway, this stuff. The one who's lost their way is Donald Trump. He's not MAGA anymore. Donald Trump is billionaires first, Israel first. It's not America first. Anyway, and then what is America first anyway? And I've already said many times, I would say humanity first. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I kind of sense, and even Tucker Carlson, that they have a lot of, if you're America first, you'll actually put humanity first, and you'll put humanity before your country, and you put your country before your party, and I don't know, maybe helping people above getting money. And Donald Trump, you look at his priorities. What are Donald Trump's priorities? It's like, in a certain way, he's maybe America first, but he's also Israel first. He's money first. I mean, and he says, oh, catering to the other side. That's what he said about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, what about catering to the other side? Well, if the other side seems to be wanting to do something that is good for America, maybe you should support it, Donald Trump. But no, it's just because it's the other side. There's so many politicians that are like that. I don't know. I don't like politics. I don't like religion necessarily. And I already told you about religion, and that's one thing about politics. Oh, you have to support your party. I tell you what. When it comes to a draw, support your party. But when it comes to something where the other side actually comes up with a good proposal, you just say, well, that's a good proposal. Man, we'll look into it. Let's try to implement that. But no, they don't do that. And I don't know. That's just my opinion. And Trump has lost a large percentage of his base, and it's not just the vaccines. It was about this Epstein thing. He pledged to go after the pedophiles and all this thing, and then all of a sudden, oh, it was a Democrat hoax. Come on now, so, I don't know. And it's like, what was it? When you think about, say, Donald Trump, when he talks about, oh, Operation Warp Speed, the vaccines are great. You know, it reminds me of Joe Biden coming out and saying, oh, you must get vaccinated or it's going to be a winter of death. It'll be a winter of death. You're all going to die if you don't get vaccinated. I mean, gosh, man. And I'll tell you what, I came to Belarus because there's a very good chance that I would have died if I got vaccinated. I got a lot of things in my things where so many people died of things related to cholesterol and blood clots. Why do I want to put something in my body that supports causes blood clots? Do I want to do that? I just don't want to take the chance. And I already know at least enough about biology that all this stuff that they're feeding us is crap. Especially this Fauci. He had said, oh, you don't know, if you've had the virus, you don't have to worry, you got immunity now, and then all of a sudden, oh no, you have to. I mean, come on, he just doubled back on all this crap. This is all about money. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, all of these things. I have a friggin' sickening crap. I mean, you guys all know that stuff anyway. I don't want to go into a launch on that. And a lot of time they're still, oh, Bill Gates, you know, and he's invested in all of these things. And what was it, BioNTech, you know, he had his first laboratory, one of his laboratories was in an area, and I even, that's when I had a house in Germany, right nearby there, in Thuringia, Germany, and Donald Trump, he wanted to buy all this research or something that they were thinking they had a vaccine or something. He wanted to buy it for $1 million or something at that time. And then remember this lab in Wiesbaden, Germany, owned or controlled by Bill Gates. There were two Turkish guys, and that was BioNTech. You know, and they came up with their little vaccine thing. Long before that, the Russians had their vaccine. Maybe it was a fake vaccine too. I don't know. Maybe they knew about this, but it was based on a technology that the Russians actually developed as a vaccine for Ebola. Oh, you never heard that there was a vaccine for Ebola? Oh, well, surprise, the Russians had it in the 1980s, you know, and they used that same sort of a technology. It's called adeno something. I don't even remember. I did the research because I didn't want to get the vaccine, or I wanted to find out as much about it as I could. And anyway, but it was it just told a friggin' bunch of lies. I don't know what the heck. How are we supposed to function in the world when they just lie and lie and lie? I don't know. I tell you what, it's so much better to be over here, Belarus and Russia and things, and to know that these people are actually, they look out for people. They don't look out for money. The money is the priority in the West. Over here, the people are the priority. No. Anyhow, so let's see. I don't know if I'm. Anyway, actually, that's about all I had to say. Is this winter of death? Oh, I don't know. If you guys are all getting frustrated with the world, I think a lot of people are. Candace Owens, she even mentions a lot of this. Oh, look at these legs, this lady coming. Oh no, oh she, can't see. Anyway, guys, girls, anyway, okay, that's all I have to say for today. And I'll just look at girls here and finish my beer, if you guys don't mind. And thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.